And this is a session with Turkey Talk. Thank you for joining me today with a session of Turkey Talk. Today's talk is about who is in charge. That's what I want to know. I want to know who is in charge. I want to know who allowed Bill Gates to enslave us, make viruses and vaccines, and blatantly mention that he will depopulate the earth. Who allowed him to do these things? Who allowed him to come up with viruses and allowed him to spread it across the world? Who allowed him to do that and then have the nerve to come up with a vaccine about it? Who is in charge that said, hey, that's an okay thing to do? I really, really want to know, because that is a very evil thing to do, especially to people, period. Why would you want to do that? Why do you want to get people sick? Not just get people sick. Why would you want to depopulate the earth? Saying that there's too many people makes absolutely no sense. Who agreed to these things? Who's doing it? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And we as a people need to look into these things and somehow stop it, because who is allowing this? Another thing I want to know. Who allowed Elon Musk to come to this country, not pay taxes because of some fake loophole with crypto? Because from my understanding, you have to pay taxes with crypto. You can file it. Who allowed him to come to this country and do this? And then they have this big play with him and Donald Trump supposedly beefing, and then his son is allowed to say curse words in the Oval Office on camera and just be a total brat while Elon Musk is talking in his jeans and t-shirt. Who allowed that? That was totally rude. Do y'all remember that? Okay. I also want to know, who elected these politicians? Because a lot of the time, they do have a backstory. They do. But a lot of the time, nobody knows who these people are. They just pop up out the blue, you know? And it's always a few people that know them that may be on the politician side, right? Who are these people? Where do they come from? Who allowed them to lead the country? Why do we need anybody to lead us, by the way? Why do people feel like they need a leader? What is wrong with governing yourself, leading yourself? You know, what happened to that? Everybody has to have someone tell them what to do now? Not now. It's been going on for some odd reason. And all of these politicians, they're crooked. They're crooked as heck. And they're allowed to be leading the country and setting laws and telling people what to do and how to work and where to work and when to work. You know, where to have children, what to teach them. Who allowed these people in these positions to have this power? I really, really, really want to know. Because, I mean, we all have a really big clue of who we think it is. And what are we going to do about this? It's absolutely crazy. Another thing I want to know. Who allowed these fake ass Indians to take our identity? You can blatantly look at them and tell that they are not American. They were not born in America, and they even have records to prove that they're not American. They were not born in this country. They migrated here. It's on record. They're Siberian or something like that, Polish or something like that. I don't know. What I'm saying is, they're not American. And somehow they were given this native title. No such thing as a Native American. Let me ask this question. Why the hell do we need a Native American when we are Americans? You don't have a native Chinese. You don't have a native African. You don't have a native European, a native Frenchman. Do you? Somebody point one out. Have you ever found a native Dutch? Where they say, I'm a native Dutch. I'm a native Chinese. I'm a native Siberian. I'm a native Mexican. You never hear anything like that except America because they want to take our identity so bad that they come up with Native American. Because I think that in their minds, it supersedes an American. That's what I think. Or indigenous. They even took the term indigenous. So in order to be an indigenous American, indigenous is now tied with Native American. So that supersedes an American. It's weird, right? To be indigenous, you have to be Native American. I am not. I don't understand these things. The more and more I get into it, the more and more it's like all of this stuff makes absolutely no sense. None whatsoever. I'm an American, copper colored. Um, my people are indigenous to this land. And yeah, I don't understand why we have to be reclassified and reclassified and reclassified because you know I don't know who they are, but they have taken our identity and they keep just throwing things at people. Know yourself. Seriously, know yourself. I am a living woman. I'm a living American on this land, this American land that my ancestors and I am from. Originally from Lynchburg, South Carolina. Originally from the family of the commanders. Yes, that is me. I am a commander. Get into that on another occasion, though. Um, so I also want to know about how these people are able to take our tax money that is supposed to be used for streets, education, business, and for those who need a boost in their finances or assets. Why is all of our money going into the funding of war? Did we pay for our own demise? But they call it fighting for freedom. Whose freedom? Freedom from what? I thought we were already free, right? And I just don't understand, what is the purpose of war? What is the purpose of fighting? What is the purpose of sending people out there to die for this country? It's for the land. It's for them to continue to send immigrants over here, flood the land with people who don't belong so they can continue to claim our land. We have to get this back. I don't know the exact steps to do it, but I want someone to help me. I want someone to help me learn the exact steps to get our land back because we have definitely been infiltrated. And, you know, I see why we need to fight. We need to fight for our land, but it's not war that we have to do this by. You know, it's paper genocide. It's how they got us. And we need to learn how to get our land back so we can rewrite whatever the hell they got written because it's terrible. It makes no sense. From that, I see that they are all working together, basically damaging the earth with this war, you know, poisoning the earth and brainwashing the people. I'm not going to lie, people are so brainwashed, you can tell a person valuable, truthful, and useful information, and they will shrug their shoulders and continue what they are doing. Sad. For example, this is a good example. A cop's badge is an exact replica of the slave catchers. It's been rebranded to Street Patrol instead of Slave Patrol. They are still patrolling. Yeah, they're still patrolling. They catching niggas and killing niggas. Yeah, that's what they're doing. The cops are obedient coons and house niggas. The black ones. I hate to use the term black, but you guys are black. You're dead. Because in order to do something like that to your brother, to your sister, someone who looks like your mother, your aunt, your son, daughter, you are a coon, a house nigga. Black cops, they're not good cops. I'm not sitting here trying to stereotype anyone, and I'm not trying to point a finger in any way. You know, everyone's intentions are different, and everyone's information and knowledge when it comes to things are not as widespread as it is for others. I do want to retract a bit calling them house niggas and coons, but that is the operation that they're operating in. They're operating in the form of a coon and in the form of a house nigga because that's what they did. You know, they kept the other niggas in line for massa, similar to Charleston White. You know, I think he's a house nigga. You know, he all the way gone. You know, for him to come up with what he came up with that young man is extremely, extremely wrong. I hope somehow he's canceled for it because he goes against the grain with complete ease. Complete ease. All those entertainers are sold out. I don't trust not near one of them unless they are actually fighting back. They operate as obedient coons and house niggas. The entertainment business is the exact same way. Okay? They degrade their own. They are paid big money to talk bad about their own brothers and sisters, you know, mothers. I mean, everything that they do, everything that they make is degrading, is defiling. It's nothing uplifting. It's nothing where they stand together. And one of the things I want to say is that Kendrick Lamar song, a lot of people love that song. And don't get me wrong, music is music, great. I'm not a big fan of the They Not Like Us. Oh, and they played the hell out of that. That was completely played out. But I really want to know if anybody understood what he was saying. Who was us? They not like us. And who was they? I'm not like him. Are y'all? Are y'all in the entertainment business? Are y'all doing music? Are y'all in movies? Um, you know, do you have a contract with the devil? If you do, then you're like them. They is the us in that song. Anyway, the entertainment business works the exact same way. It does. Look at Sexy Red. As pretty as she is, she degrades her own. You know, the lip glosses that she came out with were absolutely disgusting. If I had children, I wouldn't even allow my child to buy that nonsense. What the hell? STD flavored lip gloss. I guess it was supposed to be funny or a joke or whatever, but the fact that it was allowed and she thought to do it, it wasn't funny. It was degrading, and it shows that, you know, rather than something uplifting for the people, it's something like that, degrading. You know, even one of the first songs that got her popular, something about a pussy being brown or green or pink. I don't know. But anyway, it's things like that. There's a lot of songs that's made to degrade women or families, even, you know, self sabotaging songs from people. I can't understand how people can want to party to that type of music and then, you know, expect good results in the club. Anyway, we get on that on another level. That's on a spiritual level, and we're not talking about that right now. But we can. We can definitely get into it. If you want to get into the spiritual topic of things, let me know in this video. and I will definitely have topics for ya. Okay, so the next thing is, um, I want to know why it's allowed. That's just all. And another thing, if we say anything about the monsters who introduced people to adrenochrome, the real Monsters Inc. people, the casting crew of the central casting, the people in the Epstein files, if we say anything bad about those monsters, shows get canceled, people lose money, stuff like that. And why is that? Why don't they want to be mentioned when they know that they are behind these things? It makes no sense, right? Now, my personal opinion is that they should change the name of the Epstein files to the Palm Beach Pete files, since that is what Palm Beach Pete changed his name to. Palm Beach Pete is now Palm Beach Pete, but he used to be Epstein. One guy that I was watching on TikTok podcast, and Epstein was allowed up there, and I'm not going to keep saying that name, but the guy was allowed up there, and dude blatantly told him, "You're Epstein, bro. Like, just stop playing, man." Like, and he's so gung ho on this character that he's portraying that he's going to say that he's Palm Beach Pete. Okay, and it's obvious that he's who he is. But the thing is, nobody's going to do anything about it, are they? Because one of the things is when he was spotted by the copper people, he was treated like a celebrity. Yes. The men are weak and they fiend for other men in a romantic way. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's true. I solemnly can say that not all, but there's a vast majority of weak men who look at men in a romantic way. And they leave women with children to fend for themselves. Yeah, they do. There are a few upright men, a few upright. And I say upright because fuck good. What is a good man? What is a good person? You can be good. You can be a great person, but your morals and statutes matter the most. And an upright person is going to do the right thing. They have what you call integrity, right? And those I guess those are hard to find. And I want to mention this one last thing. Say this about Adrian Boner and Dean Delane. I don't understand why they acted so fruity with what they did. They're title weight champs, right? And they should be streaming, getting young boys their bags by showing them how to box, teaching them how to box. They need to teach them everything about boxing because in my opinion, they're going against the teachings of boxing. And all jokes aside with Adrian Boner, he's a really good boxer. He was really great in his time. I admire somebody with um real talent, real skill, and he actually has that. I don't know what happened to that man. I hope things get better for him, and I hope that I mean, he's not broke, but I do see that he's broken, and he, just gotta find that thing for his mental. I guess what's gonna get him right. Um, He seems like a very talented man, and he can really, really change the youth. He can really, really change the world with his skill and his discipline. And he should really be teaching these kids what boxing is about: discipline, strategic moves, consistent training, how muscle memory works. I seen one of this guy's streams, and his muscle memory was really good, even though he had got that big old belly. He probably was drunk at the same time, but that muscle memory was super on point. And he can teach these kids how to get a sponsor, stuff like that. Now, Dean on the other hand, I'm not saying he's a bad boxer because apparently he's in the sport, but just seen a lot of stuff with him getting beat up and punched in the face. He talks a lot of trash, you know. he's just not that guy that Adrian Boner is. Adrian Boner is a way better boxer than Dean. Streaming thing is really cool, but find something that's valuable to the youth, especially ones that look up to you. You know, acting gay, fucking hoes, paying for that. You know, maybe that's what guys like to do. I don't know, but it just looks bad, man. Looks bad. Thank you all for joining my turkey talk. I also will put at the end of this one of the videos that I made on TikTok about this boycott, standing behind each other. We really need to stand behind one another with this boycott, especially when it comes to products what we're buying. We need to look more into it. If you really want to do the black-owned thing, look into who you are buying from, where it's coming from, because a lot of this stuff is coming from a place where we're still supporting those who are oppressing us, those who look down upon us, those who have stolen from us, and those who plan to keep us in a down spiraling loop. Watch for that, because in order to build one another up, we really, really, really have to know who the enemies are. And a lot of the enemies come with a smile and a knife. So that will conclude our turkey talk for today. Thank you all for joining, and catch me on the next one. I'm out.